CM Punk mocking fan speculation of AEW stars appearing in the Royal Rumble and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for January 19. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler set to face Arn Anderson's son Brock and Lee Johnson, Jim Cornette took to his podcast to criticize AEW for having FTR wrestle inexperienced talent. Apparently FTR gets to appear on television next week, and who are their opponents? Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson. So now Arn's out there with Brock. Brock appeared once for a 2-week deal, set it up, have the match, we would never see him again. FTR is the best in-ring tag team in the world. Why are they wrestling a talent who has only had 3 matches, and another talent who isn't out of the prelims? Speaking of FTR, they had a confrontation at Ring of Honor with the Briscoes, as many are excited to see this feud in AEW. On Busted Open Radio, the Briscoes talked about what would happen if they joined the promotion. As Jay said, that's the thing, man. If it does happen, when and if, everybody else is going to have to take a back seat. That's just going to be the way it is. Once we get in there, y'all know what we're going to do. Once they see us do us and FTR and we whoop their ass, they aren't going to have no choice but to put us regularly on their television program. The brothers would go on to mention their war of words with Wheeler and Harwood on Twitter, noting, "We're just keeping it real, man. I don't even like to get on the damn Twitter, man." Jay Briscoe said, "It just sucks you in. I don't like to get too involved, but at this point in our careers, we've got to do what we've got to do. So we're just putting it out there and letting them know we're here." Especially like it wasn't 5 minutes after the Ring of Honor news hit. Back when it did hit, when your boy Dax, Big Dax, just tweeting Briscoes, nothing but Briscoes, Mark added. So we can't sit there, yeah, Briscoes, huh? Briscoes, what's up? Jay Briscoe would point out that if they join AEW, they'll be sure to make an impact. I think once we make that splash, they're going to want to see it again and again. So I ain't really too worried about that. At the end of the day, we're providing for our families, so we've got to do what we've got to do. But I don't think we've got to worry about riding the bench. Following his loss to Carmelo Hayes in a title unification bout, Roderick Strong could be on his way out of WWE. More recently, he would be on the receiving end of another loss, this time to Walter, now going by Gunther. Brian Alvarez would note on Wrestling Observer Live prior to the match against Walter that the writing is on the wall for Strong. Walter will be facing Roderick Strong on Tuesday night. God, I hope they give this match time. I don't know what the future is for Roderick Strong, because, you know, Strong was the Cruiserweight champion. They're getting rid of the Cruiserweight belt. Clearly, they don't want cruiserweights, and I believe Strong just opened up a PWT store, so I don't know what the future is for this guy. I don't know if we'll know more tonight, but I expect him to be destroyed by Walter. Who knows what his future is from there. My guess is Roderick Strong will also not be in the Royal Rumble. As mentioned, Strong has opened up a pro wrestling tee store for himself, with him last signing a WWE contract in the summer of last year. Given his wife Marina Shafir has made appearances for AEW and his former Undisputed Era stablemates being a part of the company, it remains to be seen if Strong makes the jump as well. Online, it was recently seen that former UFC and current Bellator Women's Featherweight Champion Chris Cyborg had an AEW star enter her gym for a training session, which Thunder Rosa would reply to. Now, on the Throwing Down podcast, Rosa opened up on that training session, saying, "It's been a while since I wanted to go and train with her, but our timing is never good. This time I was in LA because I was supposed to have interviews with agents and stuff and nothing fell through." She texted me the day before, which was Monday night. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do on Tuesday, because I was going to be there the whole day. She said, "You want to come to my gym?" Yes. We planned it last minute. I showed up on Tuesday and was like, "We have Muay Thai." Keep in mind, I haven't trained MMA in over 9 months. Ever since I got signed, I don't even have time to breathe. I went over there and her coach is like super nice. Thankfully, I didn't look like an idiot. At least I don't think I did. We trained for about an hour and a half. Then I was like, "I want to have a match with you." "What?" Her husband was like, "Yeah, let's have a match." We had a really cool match, like a 3-minute match. I was like, "You're going to catch me on a crossbody." Her husband was like, "Are you crazy?" I jumped from the cage onto her, she catches me in a really weird way. She rolls back over, grabs me again, and we did this spot maybe like 10 times because it was just so much fun. What am I thinking? I forget that not everybody is a pro wrestler. We were talking wrestling jargon and I was like, you have to sell. Sell? To sing or train live, I was in awe. There have been 2 times I've been afraid. One, the first time I stepped in a cage when they jumped me for me to figure out what MMA was all about. When she was like, you want to train today? I was like, I'm going to die. We like sparred too. That was really cool. MMA fighters are so in control when they spar with people, especially new people. You're not going to eat their lunch because you want them to learn something and see how they move. With Bryan Danielson coming up short in his rematch with Hangman Page over the AEW World title, Disco Inferno noted on the Keeping It 100 podcast that he thinks Danielson should have won the belt. AEW can do whatever they want. However, if I was booking Bryan Danielson versus Adam Page, I would look at more creative avenues to go down if I had Daniel Bryan as the champion instead of Adam Page. My creative juices flow far better with Danielson going over in this instead of Adam Page. I am far more interested right now in how I am booking and rehabilitating Danielson to make sure he doesn't drop down too far in the card, because this guy should be at the top of the card still. Following his win over Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title at New Year's Eve, Bron Breakker would celebrate with his father Rick Steiner. Talking to Bleacher Report, Bron noted that he had no idea his dad would be there. I didn't really know he was coming. I invited him down and said, hey, do you want to come to the show? He drove down and surprised me. He showed up and it was cool. It was the first time he's ever seen me work and getting to be a part of it in person. I got to cherish that with my dad, and my brother was there too. It was one of those things you never forget. With the likes of Lance Storm and Ryback criticizing CM Punk's recent match against Wardlow, Ric Flair has decided to throw in his 2 cents on the bout, saying this on his podcast. If you were watching these incredible bumps these guys give each other, and I mean out of this world, and then they use a roll-up or a run-in for a finish, it absolutely kills me. I genuinely believe CM Punk is being overgenerous. That does not make him a bad guy. That was my style forever too. I just think if he's going into this big program, he doesn't need to be quite as generous. It seems apparent the company is building up a feud between MJF and Wardlow, so we'll have to see where this goes. With him recently quitting his job as a coach at the WWE Performance Center, Scotty 2 Hotty was on Talk as Jericho, admitting the reason he left the company was just not having fun, and I knew it was time to move on. And I told myself when I came back that was one of my goals, was to walk away on my own this time. WWE has made many changes to NXT, as Scott revealed an odd request Vince McMahon had for the coaches. We got to the Performance Center for television. We don't have any fans outside. For the longest time there weren't any fans, and then in the building, it's all in-house people. So we were wearing our NXT tracksuits, but as soon as it started to change and Hunter went away, the other guys started to come in. It was, okay, we are back to business casual now. Then the next week, this is awesome. Next week it was, Vince wants the coaches looking younger, so we need you guys to start dyeing your beards and cutting your hair. The coaches, I literally lost sleep over that. Touching on the changes brought to NXT, Scott noted that there's just not a lot of explanation to it about what happened. And yeah, it pisses you off, right? It's being a part of it, but it's also sad because it's kind of like they killed it off, and they killed this awesome thing that we had off. So we lost this awesome thing. It was almost like dealing with a death, dude. It was just sad. With it recently reported that Cody Rhodes has been working for AEW without a contract since the end of last year, many are wondering if he will be making an appearance at the Royal Rumble. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter would recently note that Cody Rhodes will be on Dynamite tomorrow night. He will not be in the Royal Rumble, nor will Jon Moxley. This led to CM Punk mocking the speculation of AEW stars making a WWE return, as he replied, "Working on my calendar, am I in the Rumble?" With Impact Knockouts champion Mickie James set to return to WWE for the Women's Royal Rumble, she spoke to Ariel Helwani recently about her initial reaction receiving a trash bag from the company with her belongings following her release. So it was a weird day anyway. I was walking out the door to go do a photo shoot for my music single I had coming out, so I was literally in one of the boxes. I actually got 2 boxes, but when one of the boxes had arrived, I just kind of brought it in. I was like, oh, this is my stuff, I can use for this for my shoot like a jacket, because my jackets are in a drawer and stuff, so I wonder if there's anything in there. So then I open it, and it's in a trash bag, and I see it, and I'm like, oh, of course, whatever. After announcing his skin cancer diagnosis in October, Jim Ross underwent radiation treatment. With him in the process of recovering, he took to his podcast to give an update. Here's the interesting part for me to try to heal was this just doesn't heal quickly. It's in a part of your body that has no fat on your ankle, and it's just got to take some time. I say it's like a bad sunburn, but it's really at another level. It's the best way to explain this radiation burns. That's what it is because all the skin is gone now, so it's all new skin. That means it's more exposed to the nerves, so it's a bit in that respect. But it is getting better, and a lot of that old skin is gone and new skin is starting to mature, so it's just what it is, you know, and I kind of get used to it. Thank God for these creams that they gave me at the clinic, so I use that 3 or 4 times a day to help heal the damn thing, but I'm going to make it fine. I've had to tolerate a lot of pain, and flying is the shit. We all gotta be careful. When I go get on a plane, I'll make sure I got plenty of cream on my burn, and I have it wrapped and protected, but boy, it's a pain in the ass to fly, I'll tell you. You know what I've been doing? People are gonna probably laugh at me, and someone's seen me go through the airport. I've been ordering the wheelchair. Walking is a killer. It just kills it. So I've been getting the wheelchair at the airport on both ends. So they picked me up, my driver picks me up here at home and takes me to the airport where I meet the wheelchair guy who now I've become buddies with. They're all fans. They all like my $10 and $20 tips. So I'm very popular when they see me coming, because I think most of the old people that have wheelchairs are tipping them like in ones or something into that denomination. So that's taken a load off of me. So when I got off the plane and we're going like this week as we tape this, it'll be Washington DC, which has very, very strict COVID rules and regulations. So that's helped me a lot, I feel. When I first did it using a wheelchair, I guess my ego was getting involved. I didn't want people staring at me because I'm sailing through the airport in a wheelchair in that black hat. With Asuka being out of action since the summer, fans are hoping for her to make a comeback during the Royal Rumble. She was trending on Twitter, so here's some of the reactions. There's a rumor that Asuka will return at the Royal Rumble. I will only accept these people to win the Women's Royal Rumble match. Number 1, Zelina Vega. Number 2, Alexa Bliss. Number 3, Sasha Banks. Number 4, Liv Morgan. And number 5, Paige. No, because Asuka better get a spot in the Royal Rumble match or we're going to have a problem. It was previously reported that WWE and Vince McMahon are done with Finn Balor receiving pushes, but now it's come out that they don't want him heading to AEW, as Ringside News reported. Vince McMahon never had faith in Finn Balor, even as the first Universal Champion. He's seen as a high spot guy. We were also told that AEW would bend over backwards for Balor, and he would definitely be another WWE guy in AEW. Wonder if that's why he's still around. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.